A reading from the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus said, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorns or figs from thistles? In the same way, every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. And every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Thus, you will know them by their fruits." Jesus teaches those who are listening to him in this sermon, and those of us who are still listening to Jesus, teaches us, first of all, to beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. And that is not a new or modern phenomenon. That is something that apparently has been going on in the human family for a long time. People who have insatiable appetites, clothing themselves momentarily in a gentle and appealing and innocent enough seeming demeanor, just long enough to get us to leave our defenses down so that they can get after that which they are seeking. And so Jesus pointing us to this great, really, principle of Christian discernment that has been passed on, starts with Jesus here, but we hear it again in Paul, about looking for the fruits. How can you tell if something is the right way? Whether that's a church community making a decision, an individual making a decision, perhaps a community, even a nation making a decision. How do we discern right from wrong or better from worse options? And Jesus is telling us that one of the ways you do that is by looking for what comes out of something, whether it's an enterprise or a person or a relationship or a religion. Look to what it is bringing forth in the world. What are the fruits of that? And reminding us that the fruit is of the tree. If you're seeing something, and Paul speaks of the fruit of the Spirit, joy, peace, love, wisdom, patience, kindness, all of those gifts of the Spirit, the fruit of the Spirit, we're to look for what's coming from something or someone, or a church's decision or a movement in our country. What kind of fruit is it bearing as we live our lives in discernment and figure where it is that we're meant to spend our life and our effort, whom it is we're to trust, how it is we want to live our life, and what kinds of communities and groups do we want to be a part of. Look at the fruit of what is happening in those spaces and in those places, Jesus tells us. So I know I've always found this a helpful principle in my own life, personally, about decision making. Sometimes, we hear famously that in ethics, in the field of ethics, it's not a tough decision between doing something good and something bad. It's choosing between two goods. But one of the ways, even at that level, we can look to see is what's the outcome? What's the fruit of this situation, this person, this community, this decision? And see what it is that we want to be a part of, and how it is we want to spend our lives, how we want to give ourselves, our time, our energy, our money, our bandwidth. How do we want to spend that? Making sure that as we make those decisions that we're looking carefully to the fruit of what is going on, whether it's a relationship or something larger than that, or simply our own life and our own spiritual, moral, and ethical choices. Look to the fruit, what comes from the decision I've made or the relationship I've entered into, the movement I've joined, and make a decision from that point about what it is that's bearing good fruit. Use our senses. Sometimes we discern that in a larger group, in prayer, in the context of prayer, asking God to show us and illuminate our decision making. But Jesus says, watch out for the wolves and look for the fruit. May this meditation and this prayer bring forth wisdom in you this day. May God bless you and keep you this day and always. Amen.